is there different efficacy of different vaccines? And how do you choose which vaccine to take? This is what people ask. So you can answer it, or if the other two, one of them would like to, or both, all of you can answer this
Yeah.
question.
I
Is
So
think
maybe
there?
I'm a neutral person.
Yeah.
So maybe, yes, Deepak, you can start there. Deepak, you say Sputnik.
Sure, sure. So the one word answer to your question is yes, different vaccines have different efficacies. So how is efficacy measured? Efficacy is measured very simply put as the probability of the difference in the probability of getting a disease if you are on the vaccine or if you're not on the vaccine. So I think that is how it is measured. There is a protocol which is defined based on which it is measured. So to your question that what is the efficacy, we've seen the Pfizer vaccine demonstrate 90% plus efficacy in the clinical trials. We've seen the Moderna vaccine demonstrate 95% plus efficacy. The Sputnik has demonstrated 91%. I think the Johnson and Johnson vaccine, which is a single shot vaccine, has demonstrated more than 70%. The Covishield, which is the AstraZeneca vaccine, has demonstrated about 70% vaccine. And if you increase the duration between the two doses, it seems to be a higher efficacy, and so on. So there are different, different efficacies available. But at the moment, I think the most important thing for all of us to realize at the moment is that globally, the demand supply situation on vaccines is highly skewed. So there is much more demand than there is supply. And different countries around the world are actually trying very hard to vaccinate the most vulnerable segments of their population and then really increase the breadth of coverage to others. In India, we have done reasonably well in terms of the actual number of people who have been vaccinated. But I think, as Dr. Nageshwar Reddy mentioned earlier, it's a small proportion of the total population we have. So it's going to be a journey which is probably going to take several months before we get to herd immunity. My recommendation to anyone who's listening on this is I think all vaccines have far more benefits than they have risks. And therefore, please go ahead and get vaccinated because that is in your best interest and in the best interest of the community at large.
Thank you so much. Very clear. Yeah, Mahima. Mahima, like to say something?
I completely agree with everything Mr. Sapra just said, but I have a slightly different take on this because, you know, everybody, the common understanding of efficacy seems to be a number, 90%, 80%, 70%. But the reality is it's not an apples to apples comparison. It's a comparison of a clinical trial that was done at a particular point in time. So when you look at the Moderna and the Pfizer vaccines, they were done at a point in time where you didn't have the mutants, you didn't have the variants and stuff like that. By the time it came to J&J, there was a higher percentage of the variants and the mutants. The second thing is, how do you measure efficacy? Some people measured it as pseudovirus neutralization. Some people measured it as T-cell responses, which are really cytokine responses. So different regulators use different measurements to determine efficacy. So our common understanding of efficacy, 90 is better than 70, is absolutely, in my view, not the right way to view efficacy, because all of these vaccines, for example, different vaccines that showed low efficacy showed 100% they made sure that it wasn't severe disease and you didn't end up in hospitalization and death. Now, is that an efficacy endpoint or it's simply a statistical analysis? I know for a fact that even Covaxin struggled because at the time that they were trying to demonstrate efficacy, there weren't enough cases in India for them to prove the statistical relevance of efficacy. Does that mean it's a bad vaccine or it's a different vaccine than a Pfizer or Moderna? I mean, these are highly scientific questions, and unfortunately, they're being sort of absorbed in very the kind of press understanding of 90 is a bigger number than 70, but it's really not an apples to apples comparison, and we don't truly understand the true correlation between immunity and the correlates of protection. Otherwise, WHO would have published it. I'm not a scientist, so I apologize, but that's just my 2 bits on it.
Thank you, Mahima. I think that you're
So
very clear in what you had to say. I'd like to continue with one.
Can I comment that Geeta Reddy garu about this? I agree absolutely with what Mahima has said, that we have simplified this efficacy into percentages. It's not actually that, and there is a little more complicated. But again, like Deepak said, it doesn't matter what is the efficacy. When patients come and ask me, or people ask me, what type of vaccine should I take, this one or that one, I tell them whatever is available you take, because every vaccine has a protective value, very few side effects, and because many times we don't have a choice. One particular vaccine is being available in one hospital and so on. So whatever vaccine is available, go ahead and take it. Don't think of which vaccine. This is very important. Don't be very selective and say, I won't take the vaccine. Let me wait for the Pfizer vaccine to come. It may never come. Should not do that. Just take whatever vaccine is available.